YouTube? I am back with another fantasy draft grade. This week we are doing the NFC North, and like I've mentioned previously, defenses and offensive linemen, yes, they do matter, but we are not going to be grading them. We're going to be grading mostly skill-based players and players that actually might impact next season's upcoming fantasy football season. So with that being said, let's jump right in. So day one, Chicago Bears. They get an NA simply because of the Khalil Mack trade. They finally lived up to their portion. It's about time. And so it brings us right straight to day two. Day two, they draft Cole Kmet. I'm pretty sure I'm pronouncing that wrong. But the pick baffles me. They just signed Jimmy Graham. Kmet is not even a dynasty pick because it usually takes tight ends usually about a year just to kind of get acquainted to the NFL life of running routes, blocking, and all that other stuff. So with that being said, you just want to kind of leave him on the waiver wire unless Matt Nagy decides to run two tight end sets or Jimmy Graham gets hurt, but then still you might want to just leave him out there. So for day two, they get a solid C. I'll bump to B- because he might be good later on in his career. Day three, Bears drafted a receiver named Darnell Mooney. Who knows? Anyway, Darnell was taken in the 5th round. Dude runs a 4.38. He's quick. Let's just say that. He's quick. They just cut Taylor Gabriel, so the pick kind of makes sense. With that being said, he is low on the totem pole, so you might just want to avoid him. But in 16-man leagues, you could probably take a flyer on him because he would be a boomer bust player. If you need somebody that's going to get you 15 points and maybe has a good matchup, maybe he can get you 5 catches, 96 yards, and 2 touchdowns in a game. I highly doubt it. He won't. But who knows? So just for that pick alone, I give him a C. The other picks don't really matter for fantasy purpose, so we're going to keep kind of trugging along. This brings us to the Detroit Lions. They take a cornerback. He's supposed to be the best corner in the draft, but they suck. Defense sucks, so NA. We're not talking about defenses. Day two, they get a B+. They took DeAndre Swift, the running back from Georgia. He's a true 3-down back, but leaves you kind of option of Kerryon Johnson. You don't want to go anywhere because they're probably doing a whole back by committee because Matt Patricia doesn't know what he's doing. Not at all. So we'll see. He's a 3-down back, so maybe the only way you should grab Swift is if you can get him late, like round 8 kind of late. But I know that for a fact he won't unless you're playing with a bunch of jabronis. If you are, that's when you grab him. And so with the pick, he's a B+. So like I said, round 8. Otherwise, leave him for somebody else. Brings us to day 3 with the Lions. After taking Swift, they took another running back, Jason Hundley. Why? I told you Matt Patricia didn't know what he was doing. I told you. I don't know, a third running back. Maybe it is a true committee if that is the case. If Jeff Hundley is getting any playing time in preseason game 3, if there is a game 3, we don't know. Don't take anybody. After Hundley, they drafted Quintez Cephus. Who knows? I don't know why you picked them either. They have Galladay, Jones Jr., Amendola, Hall. Maybe his depth. But this just goes to show you that Matt Patricia knew nothing of what he was doing. Next, we have the Green Bay Packers. The Green Bay Packers. Oh, Packers. They took Jordan Love. Once again, another great dynasty pick if you're into that kind of stuff. I'm not. He's going to be the heir apparent to Aaron Rodgers. It's kind of like what they did with Brett Favre when they drafted Rodgers at the beginning. You guys remember that? Because I do. Oh, I do. And so that's cool. He's a gold pick, dynasty pick if you want to grab him late in the rounds. Next, so he'll get an A- if you're into that. Next, day 2, they get a solid D, and not because of the defense. You know what I'm talking about. They drafted another running back. Why? I don't know. Here's something for you. Pro Football Focus rated him outside the first 250 drafted players. So why'd you draft him in round 2? By the way, I'm speaking of A.J. Dillon. A.J. Dillon, outside this first 250 in Pro Football Focus. Why? It goes to show you that they're trying to limit their amount of throws that Rodgers is going to do. So, limiting him about 23, 25 this season, which is they're showing they want to pound the football, but they already have Aaron Jones and Jamal Williams, so A.J. Dillon's just very confusing overall. Day 3 is an NA. This brings us to the Minnesota Vikings, the last team in the division. First day, they get an A, a great big A, because they drafted Justin Jefferson. Probably one of the best receivers in the draft. He played outside on the boundary his entire life until the last year of LSU. They decided to move him back into the slot. I guess it's not really back when you're getting moved in there for the first time, huh? Yeah. What makes this pick so great is he has a lot of similarities, just like Stephon Diggs, who just left. He went to the Bills. Why? So with him, you can move him on the outside, the inside. Adam Thielen on the outside, the inside. Makes their team a lot more interchangeable. They're still going to run the ball with Dalvin Cook. This brings us to day 2. They get an NA because they only drafted defense. And then day 3, they drafted KJ Osborne. A solid B for this day's draft just because of Osborne, who's the only player I'm going to talk about this day, on day 3. Osborne is another player that was on the outside. They moved to the slot so he can play both sides. They have a very interchangeable offense, which is very good. But what makes Osborne so great is his kick return, punt return ability. He can bring one back to the house at any time. So the Minnesota Vikings, who already had a top 10 defense, now has a special teams that just been upgraded. So they should be drafted very high. Yeah, that's it. That's all I got for you guys today, this episode, this show. With that being said, if you disagree with something, if you agree with something, if I missed something, let me know in the comments below. Remember to subscribe, and I'll see you guys next week.